focus on honoring your parents and what does that look like. And I know for some people this topic could be, oh, again, I know what it's all about. Or it could be a sour point because your experience with your parents that you had. But I really want to bring things into light, what he's asking us to do and how that it reflects us. And it, because we are the light, isn't it? The Bible talks us to be the light, the salt of the earth. And it affects us how we behave. So, yeah, and then, so if you look at the 10 Commandments, and I'm just going to briefly read, it says, you should have no other gods before me. You shall not make idols. You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Honor your father and your mother. You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not bear false witnesses against your neighbor. And you shall not covet. So if you read that, and you could just read it simply just going as like it's a 10 commandment. But if you look at closely what the fifth commandment, which is honor your father and your mother, you see there's a transitioning happening. The first 4 talks about your relationship with God. It is, in a way, a horizontal experience. It talks about how you should behave with God, how God is asking, what God is asking you to do. He's asking, you said, remember the Sabbath, remember the name of the Lord. You should not take the name of the Lord in vain. It's all about God and Him. It's a horizontal experiences. And then when you go, and then there's a transition. Honor your father and your mother. And then the following commandments has to do with relationship with others. So in a way, I'm like, okay, so what is it? The fifth commandment to be a bit, what's that transition? It's all about God. Then it switched to honor your father and mother, and then it became about your relationship with the others. It's a very vertical relationship. In Exodus 20:12, it says, honor your father and your mother, that your days may be prolonged in the land which the Lord your God gives you. See, properly understanding and living by the commandments to honor our parents sets a foundation of a basic social behavior. And if it's understanding what that looks like at home, what does it do? It affects the environment. It affects the culture. It affects the network in a way, because honor to your parents, it's God telling us to honor your father and mother, and the aspect that has to do with the society.